guys, it's Trina, and today I'm doing a tag I've wanted to do literally for a year. That is the Creatures of the Night book tag that was created by Katie-tastic, and I actually am going to be adding one additional question of my own at the end of this tag. Before I get started, let me take a minute to give you guys a pre-spoiler warning. I want to mention 2 books in this video for some of these topics, but by mentioning them, it could be considered a spoiler. And those books are The Adoration of Jenna Fox by Mary E. Pearson, and also the Burn for Burn trilogy by Siobhan Vivian and Jenny Han. If you have a really low threshold for what you consider to be spoilers, you might not want to continue watching. So with that out of the way, the first creature is vampires, and I have to mention Twilight. Even though there were some cheesy aspects to them, I liked having that new mythology on what these vampires were, and I always thought the Cullen family was pretty interesting. I also really enjoyed the Vampire Academy series by Richelle Mead, and I know a lot of people, I think, skip this one because they're just so over vampires and they think this one's going to be cliche, and it's not the most perfect series in the world, but I found it highly enjoyable. The second creature is werewolves, and I actually haven't read that many books about werewolves, but I have read one and I did like it, and that is the Shiver series by Maggie Stiefvater. Our next creatures are zombies, and I guess I read a lot of zombie books because I couldn't choose for this one. First up, World War Z by Max Brooks. I read this years ago, and I really thought it was a really great exploration of a lot of different things that could potentially happen in the event of a zombie apocalypse, and some of the things were explored so well that it almost feels like zombie canon. Also featuring zombies are the Walking Dead comics by Robert Kirkman. If you haven't checked them out, I would highly suggest it if A, you like the TV show, or B, you just like zombies. And my all-time favorite zombie book is Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. It is from the point of view of a zombie. Just a quick reminder here that if you have not read the 2 books I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you might not want to continue watching because they will be coming up. Our fourth terrifying creature are ghosts, and for this one I definitely have to recommend Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendare Blake. It's just a wonderful ghost story about a haunted house and a ghost hunter. Another series that features a ghost that I enjoy is The Lying Game by Sarah Shepard. This is a 6-book series, and it is narrated from the point of view of a ghost. And the last book I want to recommend that features a ghost is Ashes to Ashes, which is the 3rd book in the Burn for Burn trilogy by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. And specifically I'm talking about in book 3, and it is a contemporary series, so you really would not expect there to be a ghost, but there is, and I just really enjoyed how it was done. The next creature of the night are witches. And of course, Harry Potter is a given for this question. But aside from Harry Potter, when I'm thinking about books that feature witches as the main character, the first one that always comes to mind is the Cahill Witch Chronicles by Jessica Spotswood. It's a historical novel in a time where witches are being persecuted. These 3 magical sisters are basically having to hide their abilities. There's an amazing book boyfriend, amazing romance in them, and there are some really great female friendships, family relationships, and feminism in it, so I love this series and would highly recommend it. The next creature are fairies or fae. I mentioned this book in my creepy reads recommendations because it is quite creepy. That is Don't Breathe a Word by Jennifer McMahon. These are like some scary, terrifying fairies that live under your bed and come out of the woods, and they come for your children. And it's also a psychological thriller because you don't really know if the fairies are real. Also, favorite series involving fairies is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This is a magical world where magic has been taken away, but there were fairies in that world, and we do meet them in other lands at other books in the series. The next supernatural creature are demons. For demons, a very obvious choice is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. Another book that deals with demons that I enjoyed was Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. The main male love interest in that book was kind of like a demon lord. Next are angels, and for this one I want to mention Forbidden by Siri James and Ryan James. It's a fantasy standalone about fallen angels, and it has all of the setup to be very cliche, and I guess it is, but I really enjoyed it. And also the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series by Laini Taylor, which does feature quite a few angels. It's kind of a story about angels and monsters. The next creature is aliens, and so for this one, definitely The Fifth Wave by Ricky Yancey. I really love survival stories, so this is definitely kind of an apocalyptic feeling world, and so that's why I love it so much. I particularly liked the way that the aliens work. And I can say the exact same thing for The Host by Stephenie Meyer. These were just very unusual types of aliens, and I really enjoyed thinking about it and how they operated and how they behaved. And another book about aliens, which I found completely terrifying, was 172 Hours on the Moon by Johan Harstad. People go up to the moon and some weird stuff is happening, and again, it's kind of these unusual aliens, but I found them very creepy, and that book gave me nightmares. The next creature is a super-powered human. The Young Elites by Marie Lu, which is just a really interesting look at kind of a villain's origin story. And I also really love Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which is definitely supervillains, two college students that gave themselves superpowers, and they may not be doing the right thing with those powers. And finally is the creature that I am adding to this list of creatures of the night, because I feel like this is kind of a standby traditional Halloween costume, and they're not really talked about very often, but I wanted to make a spot for robots on this list. Robots slash cyborgs slash AI, whatever. There's something inherently creepy about robots that can think like people, in my opinion, that are sentient. So I've got two books I want to mention. The Adoration of Jenna Fox by Mary E. Pearson. It's about a girl that gets into an accident and she is put into a robotic body, basically, because her body is dead. I knew that going into the book. I knew the robot angle, and that's actually what made me want to pick it up. But I realized that the whole robot aspect is not on any of the summaries I can find for this, and I'm sure it's not revealed right up front, but that was what I loved about it and why I picked it up. So I did want to still mention this one in case that kind of spin on the premise is something that would hook you into it more and get you more interested in it, because sometimes we just don't hear about books in the right way that sound appealing to us. And I also have to mention Skinned by Robin Wasserman, which is book number 1 in the Cold Awakening trilogy. These books have since been recovered and renamed, and I don't know what the new name is, but it used to be called Skinned, but I'll put a link below to the actual Goodreads link if you need more information about it. But this is a series where you know on the book blurb that the main character has been in an accident and her parents basically paid a lot of money to have her consciousness downloaded into a new android body, and these androids are really like looked down upon from society because people basically feared the technology. So she is really adjusting to getting over the accident she's been in, but also just adapting to this whole new body and the new way that people treat her. Both of these books, actually, Jenna Fox and Skinned, they really explored the ethics of this kind of technological practices. I really wish I had more opportunities to talk about books like these, so I had to just add that one in there. But thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what your favorite creature of the night is and what books you love that deal with the different creatures of the night. I almost forgot to tag some people. What is new? But I want to tag Kayla Rain, Rebecca at Y Mermaids, Sarah Ella, Jordan at the Jordan Journals, and Janie from Bookworms Buddy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the comments. Bye!